Good morning, or just about afternoon actually, to a sunny, slightly cloudy but beautifully sunny day 317. The boys are in the house. Like a bit of breeze today, which is absolutely stunning. Can't beat a bit of breeze whilst the sun is out doing what it does. And the sea is a little bit choppy today, but it is kite surfing beach after all, so what do you expect? Before I start, give me a couple of thumbs ups if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. Please give me some comments if you can. Saturday we're always on a reduced staffing, as you guys know. Today, as you can see, we've had the patio blown over, hosed down, the deck chairs, little tiny things you take for granted here. We have to hose them down every week because they get covered in bits from the trees, sand from the beach, and salt from our beautiful air. So we have to hose those down all the time. As a result of that, I've just covered the windows in water as well, so I'm probably now going to have to clean the windows, and that is an absolute mission. However, that is the downside with living on the beach with massive windows. So today, the guys, we're preparing the actual garage steps as we speak, just getting the edges that have been chipped off, just resurfaced. And when that dries, we're going to test out one of the actual new paints, the concrete paints we bought. We want to do that just because we want to test the colour, test the product, and if it works, one, it improves the steps that are there for now, and two, it gives us an idea about what we're going to be using. Our pool man turned up last night. Anthony, if you're listening, if you're watching, or anyone knows Anthony, we're going to start nicknaming you Elvis, although Elvis has been spotted more often than you have. But anyway, he just arrived last night. He phoned me up and said, "Are you in?" I said, "Well, I'm about to go out," but he said, "I want to come down and have a look at the pool." So he came down and measured up. So I'm not too sure what that means. Well, that means that he's now going to get me a quote, or he's interested in doing the pool, or I'm not too sure. But anyway, I explained to him last night I've been talking to Slidercrete, by the way. That is the name of the brand I've been talking to. Slidercrete, S-L-I-D-E-R, Crete, C-R-E-T-E. Lovely guy, Fernando. The product looks amazing. I just hope, as I've said on the past couple of videos, that the product is going to be cost effective. I've spoken to a pool supplier on the island and said, would you be interested in me introducing you, and I can potentially buy from you, because obviously I've got to pay the dreaded VAT and whatever else that goes on top of it, so it might be more cost effective, and the island then gets another product. So fingers crossed, he seems to be interested. I've sent him over the details. Hopefully he looks them up. Hopefully Fernando gives me a great price, and hopefully we can get it stuck in, because without being rude, I don't want to be using Diamond Bright. I don't know what it is. I just hate being held by the short and coddies on anything. You know, there's nothing on the island. There's a limited colour. It's not exactly cheap. So if it comes in cheaper than Diamond Bright, certainly if I can get it on the tarmac here less than Diamond Bright, then it's a no-brainer. And it then introduces a new product to the island. The guys can start supplying it. I help Fernando. It's a win-win. Everyone in life loves a win-win, don't they? Lose-win, win-lose, doesn't work. So anyway, that's where we are with that. Look forward to hearing from him. Hopefully it's going to be sooner than the 9 months that I've had so far with him. Steps. Measured up the steps. Sorry, no idea where I was. My wife just called. Yeah, I think I was talking about the steps. So the steps themselves, they're a weird shape. Ready Mix unfortunately balls them up. We did all of the actual risers and the strengthening supports to ensure that the concrete weight didn't push. The guys, for some unknown reason, took the supports off. To cut a very long story short, we landed up with a 17 foot, which again, by the way, if you're going to do steps, why would you do 17 foot? Why not 16 or 18 or 20 or 14? Why 17? So I'll tell you about that in a minute. That's another problem it's caused. But as a result of that, they created me a 17 foot set of bananas. So they're bowed at the front and they're down underneath. So they've gone down rather than being straight, and the fronts of the actual steps are bowed like that. So I've had the fronts resurfaced, but obviously going up and down, they've chipped again. And I'm just thinking, what do I do with them? They're an eyesore, they're bent out of shape. We've tried straightening up, but it's not really done a great deal. What's the best solution? Obviously cover them, we can tile them, we can resin bond them, we can resin stone them, we can put wooden clad on them. So I'm trying to come up with all ideas. 17 foot, the reason why that's caused an issue is because most of the things I want to use come in 16 foots. So as a result of that, I've now got to buy extra or have offcuts or of anything I have. The tiles themselves, again, 12 foot steps. But if you've got a 12 inch step, if you've got a 12 inch step and most tiles come in 12 inch, and you've got a up and a cross, then you're obviously around about, you're just too short on some of them. So because they're not dead on, most solutions don't work. So my thought is, I know I keep going back to it, and some people say don't, some people say go for it, and there's goods and bads to all of it, but the composite decking is bloody expensive. It's between 135 and 220 a length of 16 foot, which is 6 inch by 1 inch thick, which by the way is 0.9 inch thick, and it's 5.5 inches wide. I don't know why they call it 1 and 6. But anyway, it's meant to be, if you get a good brand, it's guaranteed for 25 years, and it's not meant to fade. Although I can't see it not fading in this sun. Everyone says it will, but people in Florida and the brands that supply in Florida give you a non-fade guarantee. So anyway, in America, if you get there's hollow ones with routers on the side to fix them down. There's solid ones. The solid ones are working out about $1,880 for a pack of 49 16 foots. Whereas if you go for the ones that have got the routed edge, where you can fix through rather than fixing through the front, you fix through the sides. They can become more secretive where the screws are. That's 3,800 for 49. So I'm thinking, if I buy 3 packs of 49, that'll give me 150 lengths of 16 foot. I could do the 4 foot riser here and all of the steps, and also I could do this piece here. So I could run the deck all the way around here, and all the way around and round to the front of the building. And I think bringing a wood effect into here really would help. It would also help me with this, because as you can see here, look, this is how bad the steps have been. We've literally had to take the muck on the side here thick because of the banana shapes. If you look down the step, you've got a thinner middle and you've got a fatter edge. But this edge down here, I mean, look, we're nearly 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches down here to get the steps square. So we've had the fronts done, but again, it was done a while ago, but now we're starting to see some marks again already. I mean, this bit's come, pretty sure that's just come off. So we could redo the fronts of the steps, get them painted a really nice colour, concrete stain, and then to a certain extent, these are 12 inches, so we should get away with the 2 5.5s on there. So 2 5.5 planks all the way along, all of the steps and the riser. I think that would look quite nice. And here, running, this is 4 foot wide, so we could run whatever it is, 5 or 6 lengths all the way through here, all the way around and around the other side. So we've got a nice waterproof, non-maintainable deck going all the way around, which I think would work. So that's my thought, and if it works, then what we also could do, we could consider it. We'll have some offcuts, so we'll be able to test the offcuts around the pool. So at the moment, again, we're looking at tiles to the pool. Like I said yesterday, there's a tile option that looks like wood. So I'm waiting for a quote on that. So that will go all the way around here. We can also test the wood and see if it works on here. And again, we also can put resin stones on here. So a friend of mine said about resin. I've not really looked at resin as in resin on its own. You know, I mean, most people call that like an epoxy. You can do a resin mix. You can put a color into it. You can also add sand to it. You can mix it up and you can roll it out, and it goes nice and smooth with, and again, if it's in a walkway, you can put the sand in it so you get like a bit of grip. And if it's not, then it just gives you a nice finish. And we were going to do that in here. In England, I've got a patio and I've actually done the resin stones. So it's bloody hard to do the way it used to be done, which I think has now changed. But it used to be, you got a 5-gallon bucket, you put the 3 to 6 mil stones in, you pour the 2-pack glue after you've mixed it into the bucket, you stir the whole thing, you pour it onto the floor, and it's like a really thick stone, and then you trowel it flat, and then it looks lovely. And then when it goes off, it's glued stones. It looks absolutely amazing. But the downside to that is you've got to have an edge. So let's say that you want to go 5-10 mil thick. You need a 10 mil railing that goes all the way around, which has to be aluminium in this condition. And then you've got to be able to, you can then put the stones up to that little railing. But here I think it will be a little bit of an issue. But if we add some form of coping stone around the outside of the pool, say here, then we could resin stone in this piece. That would look really good. We couldn't do it at the steps because, again, we'd have to have that little lip going all the way around the steps themselves. And I'd have to fix that into the front. And as you can see, we've plastered the front. So as soon as you start fixing into that, you're going to create weakness, and that will go. But the resin stones would look really good on there. And the reason why I say it's changed is that's how I did it in the UK about 5 years ago. But now I found a company that makes a bigger galloned product, and it's more watery. So what they do is they get you to set out where you want it, you pull the stones down, you rake them and flatten them where you want them to be, and then like a watering can, you mix it up, put it into the water pan, and you just water and can it all over the stones, and it sets like that. You can still trowel it afterwards, but that is 10 times easier than the way I did it. It was bloody hard, trust me. Me and my good old cousin Russell in England, we both did it. I was going to do it on my own. He just popped in, say hello. He got roped in. I would have been stuck if I didn't do it with him, that's for sure. And it was only a 16-foot square. Bloody hell, it was knackering by the time we finished. So it'd be better if you could actually lay it all out and then pour it on it and then just go over up the trail afterwards, that's for sure. And it would be 10 times easier to do the steps than it is a big surface like this. But this surface would look absolutely amazing if you did this, but it would cost a bloody fortune. But anyway, the resin that my friend in England just mentioned is a good idea for here. So, you know, you could mix the resins together, you add the sand, you mix it together, and then you literally just pour it on and roll it. Some people use one of those like squidgies, and then it sets, it goes nice and shiny, it seals the floor, and then you get that sand with a bit of grip in it. That would really work. And the paint that we're testing around the corner, which I'll show you in a second, that Conflex I told you about from Sherwin-Williams, that's the same thing. You can add this little shot of sand to it. So you do one coat, and again, you could do in here, you do one coat, let it dry for 48 hours. Was it 40 hours? No, it's 2 hours, sorry. And then after that 2 hours, you do another coat, but you add the sand into it, you mix it well, and again, you just literally roll and it seals. And then you get that little grip effect from the sand. So that's, again, but everything we're talking about is an unknown here. The colour sort of swatch we've got here needs to be added to, that's for sure. I don't want any more grey. I don't say any more grey, I want more of a greeny grey, more of an army grey if I'm going to bring anything more greys in. And I want some natural wood. So the colour range is obviously something we're trying to experiment with. The products here, I'm trying to find them and experiment with them. I know I can get them elsewhere, but you can't get them here. And obviously the most important thing, budget. You need money. So you also, you know, for me to tile around here, the coping stones and the tiles here, I mean, it's 40 foot by 40 foot. Then you've got a 16-foot bit here, and it's about 5.5 foot wide. So you start talking about, you know, a large space. So to tile that, or to concrete that, or to put stone, you know, any form of paving slabs, is bloody expensive. And it may not go right. And at the moment, I'm really struggling to find the right product. So that's one of the things, you know, I don't mind saving up and doing it right. But if I can't get the product I'm seeking, that bugs me. But at the moment, you know, that's the way it is here. It's like, this is what's available, what do you want? And then you land up finding yourself buying something or selecting something that is the best of both worlds, but is not what you're actually seeking. So you're spending money on something reluctantly. Anyway, before I carry on babbling again, please help me. I think we're at 654 today, so we're only creeping up by 1 a day, 2 a day, subscriber-wise. So in order for me to get some more information from people and start understanding what's going on, and how I can change things or add the value back to you guys that I'm doing, there needs to be more people on here. So anything you do to help me below, that would be greatly received. Let me take you down and show you what Sherwin's doing. He's trying to patch up the front of the steps before he paints, which I said don't bother. But yeah, let's have a quick look. Okay, so we've got the first sets of filler going onto the steps themselves, just to fill the gaps in the chips that we actually had before. And once that's actually finished, then we'll get the actual the paint itself on, which is the Conflex from Sherwin-Williams. And again, this one is called Intellectual Grey. So as you can see, it's like a greeny grey. So it should look quite nice. So number one is testing the actual product on concrete. And two, obviously just improving the look of the steps that go into the house and hope that they can be easier to sort of to sweep or keep clean, etc. Okay, the other thing we're doing, we're continuing with the dreaded garage track. So the first one yesterday went really well, apart from somebody that drove down the road last night, decided that they didn't want to go to the beach, reverse up and drive onto my drive. So luckily it had actually gone off. So there's the finished product that we did yesterday. We are going to have a slight issue with rain, obviously, sitting in here. So we're going to hope that the rain obviously comes down here and drips off this side or does the other side. And obviously we've still got this messy edge in here. So I'm thinking about, see if I can find some form of little industrial edge that I can get, that I can fix on there, that makes it look a little bit prettier. Even if it's another bit of galvanized L-shaped steel of some sort, I can actually put it on there, screw it on and just make it look nicer. At the moment it looks an eyesore. Obviously we took the wood off last night that was holding it, so we've got to get the cable ties out and get that fixed at some stage. But at the moment, as you can see, the line is here, so we're actually using the caution tape to try and help people not break their necks. Beckles has got it in at the moment. It's looking nice and straight. So again, same thing all the way along. So a little bit later on, we're going to be pouring concrete in here. So we'll get some rocks in here first. Plenty of rocks that came out the floor there. So we'll get those in there, and then we'll get pouring around it. Yeah, that's another job for the later on. And again, we'll have it here slightly sloped so it joins the pavement. Again, I'm going to stain this, by the way. I'm going to stain this bit here. And my thought process at the moment, if I can actually get the resin stones, once I've actually recovered and saved a bit more money, I'm going to resin stone this. And the good thing about putting resin stones in, I'll be able to go a little bit higher at the back and come down and give me that run that I'm really looking for. So I want to try and get the stones on here, get the filler onto it and make it stick. And from my point of view, hopefully they can do it on the iron. If they don't, I'm pretty sure they do the resin, but I don't think they do the stones. So I might have to import the stones. And again, stones aren't light. So I'm going to need a lot of them, so that won't be cheap. And again, where the steps are concerned here, we're not too bad. We've got a couple of little chips on the steps. This one here is not looking too healthy, and neither is this one. But in the rest of it's looking pretty okay. So we just need to sand down a little bit. And then once we've tested this paint in here and we work out that it works, then we'll also do the front steps as well to try and make that look a little bit prettier. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are so far. I think the decking around here will really work. Again, because of the actual the lip we've got here coming out of the garage, we'll be able to sort of slope it slightly away. And also because it's not dead straight at this present time, I mean, this bit here is nice and straight. Slightly leaning away from the steps, but here's gone a little bit wonky. We'll also be able to sort of pack it and adjust it as to how we need it. So that will work quite well. Here I'm also going to try and get the guys to put in this 3-inch pipe. So I'm going to go from the 2-inch from the patio, as you can see here. It's coming out the wall, does a few 45s, but I'm going to take it from 2 into 3, because what I don't want is any build-up. If I get build-up, then it obviously builds up on the patio because it can't run away. So I'm actually going to, I'm going to connect that to, I'm going to get, they call it a reducer, obviously. I'm going to go from a 2 to a 3, so it's the opposite of a reducer. They must have one on the island, so I can actually go from a 2 into a 3. Okay, other than that, we've got some friends coming around for some drinks later on, so that's the reason why I just gave this a quick blow off. Oh, and by the way, I use this. One thing I bought, which is absolutely brilliant. It's a Trooper blower. Bought it in, again, good old Carter's. I think it was only about, it's about 500 Bayesian. So yeah, it's brilliant. You put a cap of 2-stroke motorbike oil in here, little cap, fill it up with normal unleaded fuel, and then there's a priming process. You go for the 3-stage process. You pull it for 6 times, take it to the second setting, pull it 8 times. It normally starts on the 8th time, and then you slightly rev it for 10 seconds, take it to step 3, and she's good to go. So yeah, definitely better than these bloody battery ones. Every time I buy a battery one, they're never any good. I'm not saying that the new DeWalt ones, etc., aren't as good as they should be, but they are, the ones I've been using the last year weren't very good at all. But this one, very powerful, and again, you can just walk around. There's no extension here, which is great. So apart from that, obviously, I'll leave you to it for now. It's only 12:30. The guys are going to get Saturday here is souse. Apparently, I've never had souse, so hopefully they're going to bring me some back. But yeah, it's Saturday. They're going to lunch. I'm sure they're going to come back. We're going to finish around about 3:30, have a barbecue and have some drinks. So, but I'll check in at some stage a bit later. Okay, so we're at 2 o'clock. There's no wind today, which is gorgeous. Apparently, the guys who get the containers are en route. Just let you know. So we'll find out about that in a minute. The guys to pick up the containers are en route. Apparently they're en route. Only do Saturdays, apparently. The colour's going on. Let's have a quick look. What do you think? Great colour, I think. You think so, Sherwin? Yeah. I like it. Okay, and the guys are going to be digging this out in a minute if they finish the front. As you can hear, the cement mixer going. They're actually around the front, actually doing the track. The doors are going in downstairs. A shower head. I thought I'd fit that today. Been putting it off for a while. Sorry about the wind, by the way. Can't block it. So the shower head's in. That's nice. Baby oiled up as well. The guys have been digging this out for me as well. I've asked them to dig this out so we can get that pipe down. So that's been dug out, that's going down. They just need to have the time to backfill. And obviously finish it off, obviously. Beautiful, the door's open. My little door, look. Look at that, with the door's open like that. It's gorgeous. Still got to obviously do out here. That's going to be something we're going to do next week. The guys have got the doors on. We haven't actually got the primer, so I need to go and get the primer because we need to get those sealed up before any rain comes and it blows into pieces. And the gate track, obviously we walked away because the wind was non-existent actually. Yeah, the track itself. The track set. Still need to brush that out in the mixing concrete, so they're not quite ready to pour yet. Needs to get some blocks down there, no point filling that right up with concrete, I wouldn't have thought. So I'll speak to them about that. And we'll blend it into the path itself. But they need to brush that out there, they can't leave it like that. Obviously they've dug that a little bit, so obviously it binds into each other. So they obviously need to sweep it off when the concrete comes. So anyway, that's all done. And then obviously the containers are en route, so I'm going to go and actually get some bits out of the containers quickly, so we can help the guys obviously get these two out of the way. So this big blue one's going, and this cream one here is going, and then they'll have another two go in the next couple of weeks. So that is it so far. I keep putting mud on top of my topsoil. I don't think they quite understand what topsoil is. Bloody expensive mud. I keep covering it with the shit mud. We'll talk about that. Okay, right. Other than that, I will check in a little bit later on. Show you the finished product here. That is confirming I will definitely do the front steps as well in the same colour, and I'll also do the risers of this in the same colour with a view to ordering in potentially that wood we talked about. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll check in soon. Note to self, when coming to pick up a container, always look at where you're going to ride onto before you do it, because you might get stuck. Quite badly. So this is how the gate track and the steps turned out. So I'll give you a quick show. So the track itself is now in. We can remove all of the framework that supports. Got to just maybe chase some of this through, make sure the water that collects in here does run off onto the pathway. And Monday we'll get those supports taken off and get them filled like we did over here. So these have all been filled as well. The truck managed to get out, by the way, with a big tow. And the weird thing about it is we've now got a big gap where a container used to be, which is quite weird. The steps, we did unfortunately start walking on them a bit too soon. It's meant to be 4 hours, but a lovely colour, I think you'll agree. So yeah, we walked on a bit too soon, so we have actually taken a bit off there and a bit off here. It's quite a nice rubberised, you can see the rubberised material. It's a good colour. So I think I might even, I think what I'll do on Monday, I'll actually get the front steps done as well in the same colour. I actually really like it. So yeah, so the doors have been finished off downstairs as well. So the doors have been done. The gate track is finished. The steps have been done. So Monday is another week, but Monday is going to be the roof on top of the garage. It's going to be obviously repairing the cracks, getting all the actual drainage sorted out and installed. And I'm going to get, potentially if I've got time, I'll probably get the first coat of rubberisation on there. Yeah, get this obviously all taken off and getting that filled in, so that's now another job completely ticked off. The electrician's coming Monday as well, so apparently he's going to be doing some bits and bobs. I'm not too sure what he's doing, but I think he's actually going to be taking the power into the side of the building here for the alarm, sirens, and the camera. That's one thing he's doing. And he's going to sort out the power to the mirror in the bathroom, and I think he's actually going to be starting at some stage on getting the electrics put into the ceiling for here. We've also got to do the same thing. We've got to get the 2x4s that we've ordered. We've got to get them spliced down. We've got to get them fixed in here as well. So we did order 20-foot lengths, but as usual, right at the last minute, they didn't have them, so we had to go to 18s. So rather than just cutting them and sticking them up and having them one side to the other, we're going to have to look at patching that. But anyway, other than that, that's pretty much it for today. I will check in with you later on. Before, please like and subscribe for me. And anything you guys want to see and know, you know what to say. Take care.